Yeah, so from the Bavarian derby, we're going to go to a massive derby. And this is the Berlin derby. It's Hertha versus Union. Hertha at plus 180, Union at plus 170. Tells you everything. You've got the away side being favourites against the Hertha side, who this is their World Cup final. The draw is again at plus 225, under over 2.5. I cannot believe the over is plus 115. That looks a bit wrong to me. I know it's not wrong. I mean, that is probably where the value lies. But I'm going to go with you first, Kev. I cannot split these just because of the derby, just because of the way Hertha have been playing. And Union, for me, they're not at it.
Flash, I nearly fell off the chair when I saw that over 2.5 was plus 115. I mean, it's the thing you have to bear in mind about this fixture is that when it's played at the Olympiastadion, it's far crazier than it is in Köpenick. The games in Köpenick generally have been pretty tight. The games at the Olympiastadion, Hertha have either won them comfortably, or if you look at the other game, Union won with, and there were loads of goals in the game. So just something happens to this fixture in general. And Union, you're right. They beat Köln last weekend, but they're not anywhere near the team that they were earlier in the season. I think there's an element of regression to the mean there because they are overachieving. There's absolutely no question about that. And so we should expect, especially with Max Kruse leaving, we should expect a regression. That said, this could be a really exciting game because Hertha defensively are still all over the place. I know they kept a clean sheet against Hoffenheim, but they gave up lots of chances against Bayer Leverkusen last weekend. Mm-hmm. And so I think this could be really lively. And I wouldn't want to pick a winner, especially with Union's drop-off in recent weeks and the fact that Hertha have had a bit of an improvement since Magath went there. So I'm going to go for goals all the way here.
Yeah, I mean, I can see this being 2-2. I can see this being very, very tight. Alex, I've gone with a draw again at plus 225. In fact, this is probably, this would be probably my strongest of my free selections when I've gone with the draws, just because it is impossible to actually split these. Plus 165 for the home side to score 2. Union at plus 160 to score 2. You can actually bet them both. You either come out with 3.25 units of profit or 0.65. I see one of them scoring 2, so that brings in the over 2.5 at plus 115 as well.
It's a derby, so no matter where they are in the standings, they will give it all. This is a huge match for both sides. I don't know for how many players this is a huge match, because, for example, Hertha's players, I think that they need to gel in the festivity of this match, somehow, because many players, this is their first time they are playing a derby at this stadium, because Union Berlin won the reverse fixture 2-1 back in November. I think that Kev is right when he's going to the goals market here. It's crazy to see a Bundesliga game set with the odds set at plus 110, 115 for over 2.5, and mostly when we're talking about a derby like this one. But yeah, 2-2 draw, why not? My only worry is that only once they played 1-1 draw, since they are both back in Bundesliga, and it happened on Union's field. So now we are at Hertha home. So a little bit, I'm not trusting this draw exactly, but the over at 2-1 possibility, even though I'm not impressed with this Union team, despite the fact that they won 1-0 against Köln. And Hertha, dreadful, only one match won since Magath came, but after that they returned to losing ways 2-1 against Leverkusen. So yeah, it's a match to watch for a neutral fan. It's a match to watch because the atmosphere will be absolutely amazing.
I've just put in that I should go with the over 2.5 goals as well, just as an insurance policy on this game, because obviously if one of them wins 2-1, I'm always looking for the others are not going to like sit back. They're going to be going for the equaliser, so I could hit my 2-2. But I definitely see. I mean, do you remember when Union went to Hertha and they won 4? They won 4-1. It was like, I mean, it was like maybe 18 months ago, and I'm like, could this happen again? But the over 2.5 goals at +1 money means that even if one of them just wins 2-1, I lose my draw bet. I'm still making 0.15 of a unit, so I'm going to add that. And why wouldn't I? So
what are we thinking in terms of cards bookings, Kev?
Yeah, I think this could be pretty rough and ready. It usually is. A couple of the kind of warriors have been taken out of it in the sense that Robert Andrich, who was a former Hertha player actually, when he was with Union, he used to kind of set the tone in that regard, but he's not actually with the club anymore. He made the move to Bayer Leverkusen. But you'd have to think I mean, it won't be a sellout. It never is at the Olympiastadion, but with a decent crowd there, you've got to think that atmosphere is going to be there. So I think it's one way you look at the referee appointment. I must admit, I've not looked at that yet, but you look at the referee appointment, you see what their record is. You look at the team news, you see, are they going to be the guys that have that record of picking up lots of cards? But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if this turns out to be the kind of game where you get 5 or 6 cards.
Well, over 3.5 is at -117.
Yeah, so, well, I think that's perfectly
you could see 4, couldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, you could see 4 in the last 20 minutes if we have none in the first 70. Correct. But anyway, listen, we've talked about this long enough. It's going to be a great game, even if it's not great in quality. It's just what's at stake for both of these sides. So let's have a little look at the official picks. And I have actually gone with Kevin as well. We're +115 for the over 2.5 goals because, as we said before, Union won 4. 18 months ago. Draw at +225 is a definite for me. Can definitely see a 2-2. And I was talking to someone the other day who always does free draws, and we've not seen hardly any this year in the Bundesliga. But I tell you what, there will be a couple, or maybe even a few, before the end of the season. So keep your eye out for the free draw.